it's yeah, we 11-2. You hoped you'd be undefeated like everybody, but there's very few of those. We had, but our numbers are good enough, and I think I saw the Ken Palm were just at 30. Wanted to be better, but defense is getting better. Saw that in practice yesterday, so that was good. We've had some guys in and out, so we've had had some guys playing different spots. So we've seen different lineups. So I feel pretty good. Jacoby's and Chuck practiced yesterday. I think they're after being out so long, that first one back. Probably there's some acclimating, getting going. So we'll see how today goes. But looking forward to going hard for a short amount of time with some live stuff today, getting a lot of shooting, and obviously we jumped into Kansas yesterday after having Tuesday off. So we have plenty of time to prepare for them, like everybody does in these first games. But know how good they are. They're relying on those four guys, which obviously the three returnees who are as good as anybody in the country, and then you add the guy that everybody wanted, and Dickinson, and then they're relying on a couple other guys to fill that other spot. So it's in some ways a typical Kansas team. Probably not as many guys playing minutes, but certainly great point guard play, experienced point guard play, which is what they do. They hold on to those guys and keep those guards around, and they get better. And so no surprises there as far as us. I think important thing is our new guys improving, and Ernest has certainly gotten better. Esam played really well the last game. Jameer and Avery getting better. Jameer sat out yesterday's practice. He's been banged up a little bit for the last, I think I told you, in Hawaii to some degree, and then here. So we're just trying to get him to be 100%, and so I think that's the important thing. Trey's just been solid. He's kind of like a veteran guy for us, and as far as he does everything really well for us, and we just think we're better when he's on the floor, and we're really coming to that conclusion. He does a lot of things that don't show up, as well as being the best shooter that we have. So a lot of good things with him there. So we're excited about the start the conference, and wanted to, with everybody, they wish they were undefeated. We wish we were undefeated, but two good teams going at it.
McCullough's one of those returners, seeing his production going from 10 points last year up to 20. What are you kind of just seeing from him this season?
We've somebody said, like, we were doing the scouting report, it was like he's probably been on a scouting report like 13 times or something over his career, and then obviously we recruited him, and he's from Texas, and then I think he redshirted. He went there so he's in his 6th year of college. Welcome to 2024. He's just just kind of made, I guess, the jump that Wilson made, and he's the guy that's getting the shots, and he's driving, and he's going to try to get fouled. He's going to wants a foul on every play, and I say that as a positive way. I mean, sometimes he doesn't get the foul, but he's going to put his head down and try to get to the basket and be big and athletic and finish or throw it up there and go get it. And that's what he has. Always a great defender, and just a big, good athlete that's now 24 years old. No other way to put it. I think 24, I'm just guessing, based on the history.
How have you seen the half-court offense for your guys grow or change over the first half of the season?
I think where there's improvement to be made. That's really what we've talked about. I think everything. You bring that up, where I guess our transition offense is best in the country. So don't want to talk about that. We lead the country in fast break points, but we'd like to be better, and we'd like to be the best in every aspect of the game. Well, that's not possible. But we need to get better, and I think it's first things is you bring in three new guards, in Avery, Jameer, and Trey, and there's not many teams doing what we're doing with brand new guards and across the board, and that's what we're doing. So I think there's been some growth, definitely. I know there has, and we just got to keep improving. It's decision making, it's shot selection. Those two things got to constantly be monitored and looked at and evaluated, and because that's what wins. The team takes the best shots versus the team that what you give them on the other end as far as shot selection. So. And shot selection can be, a couple of things, just your offense and how you're getting into it and what you're doing, and then the decisions to be made and pass or shot. So I think it's something that we have definite room to improve, because obviously we've been great in transition. And we did talk about the transition and then turning it into half-court offense at times and doing a better job of that, because there's certainly times where we look to run and it's just not there. It's a 3-on-5 situation, 4-on-5, and we showed them clips where, that means we can't go against 3-on-5. That's not transition. That's bad offense.
How does the conference stack up compared to last year?
I mean, great. I mean, I don't know. It's like so we got more teams. That's probably the most glaring factor. There's more teams in it. We'll see. I mean, I haven't watched the other teams, 14 teams. I don't have that much time to scout all the opponents we got, recruit, coach, and then see all the other 14 teams until they come around, to be honest with you. But the number, I guess I could just answer it with, we were just on a call, Big 12 call, and they said all the numbers are best in the country, nets. So we're right where we need to be in the non-conference, and I think we'll see the nets, the Ken Palms, all kind of factor in all the tough games that we have, and our strength of schedules will all jump as everybody else's stays. We'll pass up a lot of people as far as strength of schedules, as we always do now going forward.
Not to get too far ahead of it, but when you throw in Arizona next year, I mean, it's getting crazy.
Yeah,
how good this is.
Yeah, Texas and Oklahoma are good this year, so we lose them too. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, hey, Brett's made it very clear. I say I don't think it was a grand plan to get the best basketball conference in the country 10 years ago, but it's happened, and no one would have thought, and it's what it's done is. But it kind of makes. I mean, we're way better than we were 10 years ago. Baylor's way better. Tech's better. You start there, then you make some additions. It just kind of adds up. So I mean, it's amazing. I don't know that I think they've made some good hires. There's certainly a commitment. You were talking about Texas built a brand new arena. Baylor just built a brand new arena. After already having pretty nice arenas. So there's a commitment. Oklahoma State's building a new arena. Kansas State just built new stuff. I mean, there's certainly a commitment to, and I don't even know the basketball facilities, but yeah, there's all kinds of commitments being made, and I think hires they've made, and then you got the Kansas guy who just has been winning for 21 years, whatever it is there. So it's a good base to have them up top for the last 20 years, and I think everybody probably trying to catch up to them, to be honest with you, or keep up with them, to be honest. I mean, we can't hide the obvious. Whatever time, I don't even know what the number is, but they've won the conference that many times. They've had the best record in the country over that time span. I think really probably trying to keep up with those guys.
Kind of implied it too just now, talking about Baylor and Texas Tech, and you've got Houston,
facility they just built.
A&M,
Houston, the facilities they
talk
built.
about the state of college basketball in the state of Texas now.
It's an arms race. I mean, you just mentioned two more that I didn't even mention. I mean, Tech just built that practice facility that's unbelievable. I mean, some say it's the nicest one out there. West Virginia, what they did to theirs and the improvements. I mean, like you said, it's Calipari used the phrase "arms race" years back. It was the first time I'd heard it, and that's what it is. And I think Brett, our commissioner, is diving. He's taking it on. He's made it very clear we're the best, and we're trying to be build off of that, to expand it more, and that's where he talks about expansion and things he wants to do. And he's kind of walked into it, what's clearly been the best conference in the country, and trying to build off of it. And and here we talked about it here comes January, but those other teams they're talking about it year round. I mean that's what they're doing. There's just some huge, big traditional powers in this conference and followings. Followings that you talk about the Iowa States and the Kansas States. I mean they had legendary coaches back in the day, Johnny Orr and just I didn't even know that until you come around and Jack Hartman. I mean these guys are like just legends in those areas and the followings that they had that people not everybody knows. And like I said, I didn't even realize. I knew the names, I knew the guys, I knew what they did, but I didn't realize what the followings that they had created back in the day.
I know you just focus on this year's matchup, but if you ever had time to just reflect on the performance last year in Kansas, where does that stack up for you in terms of your wins over your career?
I mean, that place is unique, Kansas, and playing there. I mean, there's no question. To win there is, and their numbers, I don't know what they are, but the numbers have shown it. I liked how we played, and obviously we referred back to it, look back, and we always look at last year's games. But just our patience offensively was while we scored a high number, we were patient offensively, and in time score we were more patient, but we were scoring even easier. And we just kind of recognized the situation. But at the same time, 2 days prior, we were at West Virginia, and we had our two guards had 2 fouls apiece in the first 5 minutes, and so it was a wholly completely different game. We lost there. So there's and we went straight to Kansas, which is something we never normally do. Stay on the road for something like that conference game. So a unique setup that ended up being a game where we just defended well and made shots. That's something. As we all know, if making shots makes their offense look a whole lot better. But I liked how we handled time and score in the second half.
How do you approach guard Dixon?
Yeah, I mean that's we've played against some really good big guys this year. He's different because he's inside and out, and he's their sole guy, I guess you could say. Even though Adams, I look at him still as kind of a perimeter guy, but he scores around the basket. But he's he's going to get the ball. There's no one better at getting the ball inside than Kansas. They've been doing it for years. They always have the biggest guys on the floor, so that helps. Their spacing's always tremendous, and their game plan is to get the ball inside. So we want to limit touches. We want to keep them off the foul line. We don't want them to get putbacks. But no, he's going to get he's going to get shots. He's going to get shots. You can't keep him from doing that. But we want tougher shots, and we want no second chance opportunities.
Sure, I have a lot of experience with this, but most recently I'm thinking about Micah. But when you have a guy who's going to face his old team for the first time,
do you
have to? I'm sure they get a lot of adrenaline.
Yeah, I mean this one's a little different. Micah played a lot. Ernest didn't play. I think at the stat he had almost half as many rebounds in the last game as he had over at Kansas in his career in 40 games, I guess, last year. So a little different in that regard, but he's not from there. It's you're gonna have to ask him. I'm back from the era of when you played 4 years at the same school, and there were no transfers. We didn't have one on our roster. I know that.
I know you focus one game at a time, and then grind like the Big 12 is really important. But when you look back on conference slates in the past, how do you define success once you've completed a conference slate? So, going into this year, what would you call a successful?
I mean, you don't know who you're. With us, you got an unbalanced schedule, so that throws everything out the window right there. I mean, you recognize who you're playing and what you are, and it's just how you progress and how you battle through adversity, injuries, availability, fouls. Different things. So I think you go one game at a time. I don't think you really go like this. When you're in the toughest conference in the country and you're playing all these NCAA tournament teams, it's just a different thing to compare when you're playing in a conference unlike it. It's just a different deal. Everything's everything's based on what we are. We schedule our non-conference based on who we're playing in conference. So I mean, and then things change. And some teams aren't quite what you thought they were going to be. Whether Oklahoma's way better than people had picked them. We got some of those, and we got some other teams that had some injuries, had some guys that are not available at the same time. So you just take them game by game, and by the time you play them, something else will happen in between, to you or to them. So you got to recognize